Hello, Toads and Toadettes. Today we're going to be ranking my top 10 favorite 3DS games. This video might be similar to my 3DS favorites video, as a lot of these games were featured in that video, but there obviously was more games and they were in no particular order. But these will be in a top 10 order, starting from number 10 and ending with number 1. Remember, this is my opinion, so there's different factors that do influence my decisions. And feel free to leave your list in the comments down below. Without further ado, let's just get right into this video. At number 10, we have Kirby Planet Robobot. What an amazing 2D platformer. Kirby Planet Robobot is honestly the best 2D Kirby. Not my favorite Kirby game, obviously Forgotten Land, but this has to be the best 2D Kirby game. The new copy abilities were right. Doctor and Poison were more just minor additions, but the biggest thing about this game was the Robobot armor. There was a bunch of different suits for Robobot, so there was a bunch of different just copy abilities that you can use with the Robobot. And also here, the game modes were really good. I loved Kirby 3D Rumble, Kirby Blow Up Blast. I like the game. I know a lot of people don't. Kirby Clash was alright. But this game overall, it was always throwing new stuff at you in every level. And the Robobot armor was so exciting. And I love the theme of the game being futuristic and all that. I love the Haltman Corp and Susie. The story's overall amazing. Do not sleep on Kirby Planet Robobot. It is an amazing game, and that is why it's number 10 on this list. For number 9, we have a classic, Super Mario 3D Land. Everyone knows this game. Basically, just good old 3D Mario fun, but with a more 2D Mario level structure. I don't want to say design, but structure, with different levels instead of just a big area or just free areas to roam around in. This game is just a good pick up and play game. If I'm ever just looking for a 3DS game to play, I know I can rely on Super Mario 3D Land, because the levels are just very replayable and always, for some reason, are just fun to me. They don't really get old. The power-ups are fun. Loved the box, the propeller box, as it did inspire more boxes in 3D World. Overall, this game was just a pretty solid Mario game. While it isn't my favorite 3D Mario game, as basically all of them are better than this game, it's not that this game's bad, it's just that the series is amazing. Super Mario 3D Land is just a really good 3DS game that honestly saved the 3DS. I would highly recommend playing this game, and that is why it's number 8 on my list. For number 8, we're going to be breaking some rules by putting Mario Kart 7. That's right, number 7 is not Mario Kart 7. No, Mario Kart 7 is number 8. Mario Kart 7 was honestly one of the most memorable Mario Kart games for me, besides maybe Mario Kart Wii. This game just has some of my favorite tracks: Music Park. It brought back Airship Fortress, Waluigi Pinball, Coconut Mall, and being able to customize your kart was such a cool addition, and also having underwater tracks. There was also online play in this game, and the physics were just really smooth with Mario Kart 7, and its soundtrack is amazing as well. I highly recommend getting this game before the online servers shut down, as it's overall a fantastic Mario Kart game that I think more people need to play. Obviously, 8 Deluxe is now a thing, and it's objectively a better game. But Mario Kart 7 does still have stuff that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe does not have, and I highly recommend checking out this game. That is why it's number 8 on my list. And here we are to the real number 7, which is Miitopia. What an underrated game. This game is on Switch, and the Switch version, I'm just going to say, is better than the 3DS version. More stuff, it's more polished. Overall, just a better version of Miitopia. But the 3DS version is still a viable version. And if this is a little bit high for such a quirky game, I am a huge Miitopia fan. I've beat it on Switch, and I've beaten the 3DS version. Huge Miitopia fan. I have seen the ins and outs of this game, and that is why I just love it so much. A lot of people would probably just put them as the first character, and then put the other Miis as, like, let's say, like, meme characters, or maybe a few family members. But I put all my other Mii characters as all my friends, and that is just what makes the experience way more memorable. Giving personalities to your Miis and classes and growing with them along your journey is such a just overall exciting and refreshing experience. But the game overall is amazing, and it was just such a good experience, and it's a pretty long game. You're going to get your money's worth out of this game. That is why it's number 7 on my list. For number 6, we have another classic, Super Smash Bros. For Nintendo 3DS. How could you go wrong with Super Smash Bros. For Nintendo 3DS? Obviously, the Wii U version is objectively better, and it isn't better in my opinion. This game was still pretty good. It did have some unique modes to it, but overall the roster was pretty good for the time. This is obviously before Ultimate came out. Online was fun, and it's honestly still a pretty fun game to play, especially on the 3DS. If you're ever looking to a game for a game to just really play. Do recommend this game. That's why it is number 6 on my list. For number 5, this might be a little bit controversial, as some people might have put this higher on the list. I still think it's an amazing game, and that is The Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds. Honestly, one of the best 2D Zelda games, if not one of the best Zelda games, period. In my opinion, it is better than A Link to the Past. I love A Link to the Past. Played it first, actually, but I just think this game is way better. The painting mechanic never gets old. The dungeons, being able to tackle them in any order similar to A Link to the Past, is also really cool. I'm a fan of the renting system. Think that was a really good addition. And overall, just think the throwback to A Link to the Past was perfect for this game, and basically just took a masterpiece of a game and made it even better while making it a whole entire new experience. If you're looking to get into Zelda or just want more amazing Zelda games, especially for 2D Zelda, get this game. It is so good, and that is why it is number 5 on my list. Moving on to number 4, we have one of my most nostalgic games, even though it wasn't that long ago, Animal Crossing New Leaf. Love this game to absolute death. I wanted to put it higher, but the games ahead either have more nostalgia with me or just better games in my opinion. Animal Crossing New Leaf could honestly be better than New Horizons. There's a lot of differences, like the whole entire just overall vibe. New Horizons went for a more tropical feel, while I feel like this game stuck with the being the mayor of the island and more just overall city, or not really city, but town feel of the game, which I absolutely love. There was just so much cool stuff like the shopping district or the fortune cookies and being able to redeem Nintendo items like that. In New Horizons, we really only got the Super Mario Bros. Items, which are still pretty cool. But this game does have a lot of stuff New Horizons does not. That's why I highly recommend this game, especially if you have a 3DS. This is such a good value game, especially while you can still visit other people's towns online. This game is just so amazing. That's why it's number 4 on my list. For number 3, we are back to Zelda with The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask 3D. What a good remake. I would consider this a remake, as its graphics are pretty different compared to the HD remasters. This game is so good. I was considering putting this higher than my next game, which you'll see what that is next, because Majora's Mask is a very unique game. I'm going to be talking this in the aspect of this not being a remake and just being Majora's Mask, because as a remake, it was alright, but the game itself is just still so amazing. If you ever were looking for a time management or kind of time crunch kind of Zelda game, this is the one you are looking for. The game overall was super unique for a 3D Zelda. Loved the mask mechanic, while it was kind of butchered in this game a little bit, in this version of the game a little bit, it is still amazing. And this game is just one of the best 3D Zeldas, just Zelda in general. Love Majora's Mask, and I love its overall creepy kind of vibe. I love Twilight Princess a lot, but this is something Majora's Mask just did way better. It is way more creepy than Twilight Princess, and that is why it is number 3 on my list. At number 2, we're back with Zelda, and that is with The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time 3D. Yes, I put it higher than Majora's Mask. I think it's overall just a better game. It is so iconic, and its temples or dungeons are just so good in this game. Besides, we all know the water temple. I won't mention that one. Just saying, Ocarina of Time is so good. I actually love playing it on the 3DS too. I think having the map on the bottom screen is just way better than actually having to press a button to see the map, like on the N64 version. I think the graphics are better. I just think this is an overall better version of Ocarina of Time. And the game itself is just so good. If you are a Zelda fan, you need to play this game. So good, so amazing. I'm so glad they put it on the Nintendo 3DS. That is why it's number 2 on my list. And number 1, drumroll please, is Hey Pikmin. This game is just so amazing. Okay, you actually thought. My real number 1 game is Tomodachi Life. While this might come as a surprise, this game is just so replayable, and I have so much memories with this game. It's one of my most played games ever. It is just so good. Having your family and just adding video game characters or meme characters to your island gives you a lot of room for creativity, picking their personalities, solving their problems, having romance on the island. There's just so much to do in this game. There's honestly a lot of depth to it as well. This is one of my games I really want them to port to the Nintendo Switch, or just make another game in the series. This is actually the sequel because of Tomodachi Collection. Tomodachi Life. While it might look kind of like a meme game, and most people might not have it this high on the list, if on the list at all, Tomodachi Life is not a game you want to sleep on. One of my favorite games ever. Just honestly, such a good game. I'm right now replaying it again, probably for like somewhere in the double digits time. Tomodachi Life, such an amazing game, and that is why it is my favorite Nintendo 3DS game. And there you go, my Toads and Toadettes. These are my top 10 favorite Nintendo 3DS games. I will always cherish my memory with all 10 of these games. And if you don't agree with me, please let me know in the comments below. I will love to hear your opinion. And please leave your top 10 3DS games in the comments if you do want to take time to do that. But yeah, I highly recommend getting all these games. I didn't go over the prices in this video, but if you do want to learn the prices, I'm pretty sure all of these games were on my 3DS favorites video. If you did enjoy this video, please consider liking and maybe even subscribing. Unlike these games, it is free to subscribe, so I highly recommend it. I do have other Nintendo related content on this channel, as well as more in my 3DS collecting series, and I also have a Wii U collecting series, which I will be making a top 10 Wii U video as well. And on that note, guys, I will see you in the next one.